Yo, what up, mi gente? It's your boy Omega, and today we have an awesome Comic Crusader special. We have a return guest. Homie was dropping the knowledge, about what's cracking on Crackle, what's popping on Popcorn Flicks. He is the senior director of comms at Crackle TV. Welcome back, the one, the only, the ever entertaining Mr. Chris Woolsey. Wepa, how you doing, kiddo?
Man, Al, I got to have you just walk around with me and just be my hype man all day. Just every room I walk into, you just come in 20 seconds before and just get everybody all riled up.
Yeah. So you're gonna give Al Mega a megaphone? Hey, the megaphone.
Done.
Let's get it done. Let's get it done, kiddo. Let's do it. So what's up since the last time? How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. It's I don't know if it's hot where you are, but it is a scorcher in SoCal right now. It is 100 degrees in Los Angeles, which is a rarity for us. We got fires burning north of us. It's cats and dogs living together. It's chaos. It's chaos.
Well, I hope it's not weed farms that are burning, because then half of California will probably be bent right now.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, you're not going to be able to find a microwave burrito for like 2 months. It's going to be tough.
You know what I'm saying? It'll be nuts. It'll be nuts. Awesome. So, bro, thank you for popping in again, because today, folks, we're talking about what's going to be cracking on Crackle in September. There's a lot of stuff popping this month, some cool stuff. I got a couple of trailers for you. It's going to be fire. So, let's get her rolling, kiddo, because there's some stuff to cover, man. We got a couple of things to cover, and I got trailers. So, of course, absolutely. We have that Crackle exclusive Salvage Marines, dropping today, September 1st. So, give us a little on that. What do we mean here? September 1st, the Crackle exclusive.
Yeah, absolutely. So every month, Crackle has originals and exclusives that you can only watch on Crackle. If it's an original, you can only see it on Crackle. If it's an exclusive, that means that you can only watch it for free on Crackle. And this month we've got a doozy we've got a ton of exclusives. One of my favorite series of the last year. This was a Popcorn Flicks original. You could only watch it on Popcorn Flicks, but now it is on Crackle as well. And this is the Casper Van Dien Sci-Fi series, Salvage Marines.
Ooh.
Really, really cool stuff. Yep.
Absolutely, it's some really cool stuff. We spoke to them not too long ago. And folks, if you're not aware of what this is, let me put you on to the greatness. Thank you, Chris. We're gonna do this right now. Check out this awesome trailer if you have not even been aware of this show. And how dare you if you have not. All right, check it out.
Our galaxy. Humankind colonized space so long ago. The centuries-old conflict has led to endless wars and broken planets. My only way out was to join Grotto's army, the Reapers, the Resource Exploration and Procurement Engineer Regiment, also known as the Salvage Marines.
This is the job.
You know the debt my father left me. I want our son to know a better world than this.
And I want our son to know his father.
Do you even realize what's out there, Sam?
Tail speed.
Mercs. Pirates. Monsters.
We're losing Reapers too fast.
Most people never come back.
Do you think anything could survive that?
I'll take it all back. The reasons, the sacrifice, the blood.
Did we just commit a war crime?
Woo! Man, talking about crimes, is the crime if you don't watch this show. Jeez.
That is no lie, Al. I mean, you talk about comic book fodder. This is it. I mean, Casper Van Dien, besides being one of the nicest stars in Hollywood, is just so much fun to watch. I mean, the whole cast, Peter Shinkoda, Jennifer Wenger, Casper, obviously. We got to spend a week with the whole cast at Comic-Con recently in San Diego as we were promoting the series. And I got to tell you, it was a phenomenal experience. But this series, I mean, if you like the birth of his career with Starship Troopers, you are going to love this because it's in that same vein. It's sort of an homage to all the 90s Sci-Fi Channel series. I was talking to somebody recently. I feel like that was kind of when sci-fi nerds got to like come out of the closet and just like kind of wave our nerd flag and be like, this is who I am and this is what I love to watch. I mean, we always had like Star Wars and Star Trek, but then all of a sudden there was just all these different series that were coming out on cable at that time. And I feel like this is kind of a real throwback and a real homage to those early TV series that for me was one of the reasons I fell in love with the genre. It's amazing,
and it's a lot more accessible than those old, like you said, it was cable TV. You had to pay a subscription. This, baby, no, you don't. It's
free. Everything is free on Crackle. Thanks, Al, for reminding me. Yeah, it's free. You don't have to pay anything, and you can watch all 6 episodes of Salvage Marines. But it's great. It's really interesting and like a lot of good science fiction. There's this great fun action surface story, but if you kind of dig a little deeper, there's a lot of really interesting commentary about the world that we live in and modern society that I think, especially now, given the economic situation that our country finds ourselves in, I think this is a really timely series. So
I hope you don't give government ideas about, hey, let's trade something now. Don't give them ideas, enough. But a big shout out to Cliff. He goes, that looks cool as hell. Yes, it is. You better sit down and watch, Cliff. I'm telling you, you are going to love this. I was here thinking in the background, I really would love to dress up as the Reaper and be on the show one day. I mean, I'll be the Reaper screaming, "Wherepa? That I shut up? You're gonna give away our location." That's what I want to do.
We'll cast you in season 2.
So check it out. I know that you have another dope one. This isn't sci-fi. I know we're talking about caves here, but it's not the caves that you guys think. We're talking about pet caves. I mean, what do we mean here? And I got a trailer for you folks, but what's pet caves?
So this is a crazy series. So when you watch those kind of home renovation, flip those houses, they go in and they do these amazing remodels. Well, we've got that with a pet take. So it's people that are so obsessed with their pets that they dedicate an entire room in their house to make sure that their furry or scaly or feathery friend is as comfortable as possible. So they renovate a room in their house just for their pet to use. It's bananas.
Well, I'm here stuck in a basement, and these pets are in like a nice bougie room with the bars and music and all this. Look at these guys. Awesome. Folks, let's take a look for ourselves right now for this awesome trailer for this show that drops on September 15th.
Every day, dedicated pet parents dream of creating the perfect pet caves for their beloved pets.
But does their vision truly fulfill the needs of their companions?
She's got the smallest space out of everyone.
We are here to make sure that they do.
My dog, she's the Beyonce of dogs.
The dog has more clothes than I do.
This is Rascal. This is Hopsy.
There's a lot going on in the Byer household.
I have never designed for so many different pets. Isn't this Gabby's room?
Uh-huh. This is my room.
What if they do this and he just hates it?
These are her babies.
I need you to go. We got some work to do.
It's an emotional thing.
I want them to see this amazing transformation. I am so excited.
I love this. You're a genius.
1, 2, 3.
Put on it.
Oh my God! Happiness is achieved through great design.
This is amazing.
Job well done.
Oh, wow, that's wild. And I'm here thinking, I hope the kids have their own room.
I think that kid's sleeping in the garage now, if I'm not mistaken.
And the attic in the garage, you know what I mean? Super hot and whatnot. Oh, that's pretty dope. And, going back to Cliff on the Salvage, he's like, I love the concept. And they seem to be part of economics, being that they are scraping for resources. And he loves economics. So he's a geek there, and you got him on his geek side there.
Nice.
But this pet caves looks fire. Oh my God. So I just can't believe the obsession with this. I have a great idea for you too from a friend of mine. So we're gonna have to talk after this, because if this can make it, the other idea that my boy has should definitely be able to make it.
All right. Hey, stranger things, man. Stranger things.
How did this come across though? I'm curious. So this is a really wild concept, like pet caves. Wow.
It is, and it's fun. It's just a new twist on, there's so many of those renovation shows before, and so many of them, while they're great, so many of them are, very similar. It's hard to tell one from the other, but something like this where it's just focusing. So the fun part of it is not only do you get the renovation aspect of it, the home improvement, but then you also get this you get to see behind the curtain a little bit, and you're like, I'm not sure anybody should be this obsessed with the pet in their life, but they are, and it's sponsored by PetSmart, and so they go to PetSmart locations in every episode, and so you kind of get to see what products are available to improve your pet's condition as well. So it's fun.
That is cool. We have a kitty back home in Florida, so yes, and there is a spare room there, so please don't give my wife ideas. Oh man, and there's this other show you guys got, right? A Life in 10 Pictures. Now, last time we were talking about that wonderful lady that we all know, right? And and now
Liz Taylor,
Liz Taylor herself, very beautiful woman, and that story dope. But now we're going to be talking about a sports legend, right?
That we are. So this month, this is a documentary series from the BBC, and each month they tell the life journey of a different iconic celebrity through the 10 most iconic photos ever taken of that celebrity. And then they interview people that knew them really well or were present when the photo was taken, and they give some context and some added story and color behind what was going on. So many times we see those famous photographs again and again, and you think, oh yeah, I know that. But then you hear the story about what was really going on behind the scenes when that photo was taken, and it gives it a whole different context. It's like fascinating.
It's like, did you really know that? Right?
Exactly. And this month, one of my all-time favorite sports celebrities, we're doing Muhammad Ali.
Ooh,
and man,
Cassius Clay, baby.
Cassius Clay. And you think, well, you look at this guy's sports career. It's about as big as you get. When he was 18 years old, he was fighting for an Olympic gold, which he got. And at 18, that's just crazy. By 22, he was the heavyweight champion of the world. And you think, wow, just that story alone, he held that title 3 times. He was the first boxer in boxing history to hold the heavyweight title 3 times.
Wow.
And you think, that alone would be enough, but no, you look at outside of the ring, and this guy's life was so fascinating. He was a conscientious objector in the Vietnam War. He was actually arrested for it, stripped of his titles, had to go to court to fight to get his titles back. And this guy's life was just unbelievable. And then his whole comeback after that, it's just losing to Frazier, and then the Rumble in the Jungle with George Foreman. Some of the most amazing, one of the greatest comeback stories in sports history. But you really you learn, and you're going to learn a bunch of things that you did not know about him. I did not know, and I thought I knew a lot about him. I did not know that he actually started boxing because when he was 8 years old, his bicycle was stolen. And he went to the police department to try to get his bike back. And the police officer said, I don't know if I can help you with that, but what I can help you with is teach you to fight. And that's where that whole journey began, which is fascinating to me.
Oh, nice. Hey, brother, I can't get your bike back, but I'll teach you how to kick their ass.
Find that guy who took your bike, and you're going to get your bike back yourself.
That's nice. Let's check it out, folks. Here's the next one popping. All right. Also, hey, it's up today, actually, on Crackle. Hey, September 1st. Woo! Yep. Check out this awesome trailer.
I am the greatest. That picture there, that's his defiance. I am not just a boxer. I'm bigger than boxing. I represent you, and you. Everybody that's watching this, I represent you. And if you don't get me yet, you will get me eventually.
It looks like Muhammad Ali is saying, I shook up the world. And my father's saying, okay, brother, cool it, brother.
Whenever I was upset that he had to leave town, I'd say, you're not my daddy, you're Muhammad Ali. And he's like, oh, no, I'm not just your daddy, I'm daddy to the world. I remember that. I was like 4 years old when he first told me that.
Has there ever been a greater communicator around black rights?
It was so powerful. He just stood there and he held it in his hand, shook, and he didn't care.
It's symbolic of Muhammad Ali, who was really P.T. Barnum in boxing trunks.
He would kind of look at me and say, I was bad, wasn't I? And I says, oh, Daddy, you are, like you still are a bad man.
He never knew his place, and when he understood what his place should be, he never accepted it. You don't get more powerful than that.
Wow, folks, that's available today. That just moved me, you know. Expected to be in a place, but not accepting to be in that place. Woof. Powerful stuff, man.
Crazy, right? And to hear it from his friends, his fellow boxers, his trainers, his kids, it's amazing.
It absolutely is, and that picture was so touching. I mean, when he's in the bed and he still has his hands up, like, wow, yo, the legend. To the last day he was there doing his thing. I really got to see this. That is so fire. So you also have a couple of other things. We're gonna have one more trailer show. We show that in a little bit. But what's up with this joint right here? Space Oddities, the aliens. What are we talking about here?
Yeah. So every month we come up with different channels that are usually built around themes or seasonal or genres. And so this month we have the Space Oddities channel, which I think is going to really resonate with your Comic Crusader audience, Al. A lot of fun sci-fi shows that you might have actually overlooked. Some of these, but in my opinion, there's some of the most interesting science fiction titles of the last decade or two. So what you were referring to there, we have a BBC series called The Aliens, starring Michael Sosha. And it's kind of if you remember Alien Nation, it's kind of got that vibe. So it takes place after aliens land and are incorporated, and they land in the North Sea, north of England, and then they're brought to the mythical city of Troy. And Michael Sosha plays a border guard whose job it is to oversee this alien population. And so he starts to get involved in kind of the seedy underbelly of this city that's filled with all of these quote unquote aliens who actually look just like us. So it's really interesting. Yeah. And again, as we were talking before, there's a lot of very interesting social commentary here. If you think about immigration and racial disparity and all the things that are coming to light in modern society today, this series speaks on those subjects in a way that I think make it, like you said, make it much more accessible and easier for us to talk about.
It's for real. I mean, especially if aliens are looking like us. So who's to say we're not the aliens, right?
So there's a twist in there that I am not going to ruin because I am not that guy, Al. You got to watch the series and see how that all unfolds. It's really cool. It's got kind of that British sensibility, a little bit of comedy in there, a lot of drama, but it kind of mixes it all together, so you don't quite know how to categorize the show. I think it's spectacular. It's really good stuff.
I can't wait. And then BBC be killing it apparently, because you have another one called Red Dwarf. What's this? I've never heard of this in my life, for real.
I know. It's this hidden gem. But man, watch when you post about this on social. People are gonna light up because it's got this crazy rabid fan base that we found out. It's kind of this underground cult hit, but it's basically Star Trek meets Monty Python. So
What?
you've got this, you've got this spaceship full of people that are out in the middle of nowhere, and there is not a brain among them. Like they're just dumb as a wet mattress, and it is pure unadulterated comedy. So like every episode, they're just trying not to die, basically. It is super fun, and I think your audience is really gonna like it. Red Dwarf, check it out. It's fun.
Oh man, that sounds like me growing up in the 90s in Brooklyn. My gosh. Awesome.
To-do list, try not to die.
Yeah, and then we're going back to Casper a little bit because you also got Starship Troopers 3 Marauder. Ooh.
That's it. Yep. So Casper was obviously he was in Starship Troopers 1. They made a mistake and did not cast him in Starship Troopers 2. I think they realized the error of their ways, and so he is back in Starship Troopers 3 Marauder front and center, and he is more Van Dien than physically possible. It is really it's a great, it just continues the franchise. Super fun, tons of great two-fisted action. It's awesome.
But you're right. Just want to say to you guys, part 2, how dare you not bring back Rico? Like, what's wrong with you guys? Talking about wet mattresses.
What are we doing here? This Bush League? Come on, people.
And then of course let's go to some sitcoms because you also have award-winning TV.
We do.
Popping up.
We do. So award season is heating up, as we all know. We've got the Emmys coming around the corner. And we just wanted to put together some of the biggest award-winning shows in television history into a channel so that we can all just kind of get primed up and get psyched for award season. So we start with a favorite of mine when I was a kid, and I'm dating myself here, but I don't care. Barney Miller. I mean, I don't know, Al, if you were a fan, but
yes,
man,
I did.
It is just a phenomenal show, and it's another one that was kind of like you didn't quite know, is this a sitcom? Is this a drama? Like what am I watching? But like these characters were just so rich, and like a lot of these guys, they were incredible actors, but they were kind of under the radar. They weren't like big stars. I mean, Hal Linden, Ron Glass, Steve Mansberg, Jack Sue. They all kind of, because of this show, became legends in the TV world, but they weren't gigantic names at the time. But you watch this show and the chemistry that these guys had. 8 seasons, they were nominated for 32 Emmy Awards.
32.
Whoa. Yeah, I know, bananas. Whoa. And they won 3 Emmys. I think that's a bit ridiculous. I think they deserved way more than that.
Out of 32 nominations, only 3 wins.
I know, ridiculous. Wow. But it was also one of the first like crazy integrated in terms of racial casting. That
it is. I wanted to mention that a lot of diversity, even from the picture itself of the poster. Really cool stuff.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. And just like absurd talents, but like every episode you would just finish watching and just be like, I watched something special. Like this was exceptional writing, producing. In doing the research on this, I discovered that they actually built the set so that it looked like a theater. They wanted the show to have a very theatrical feel to it. And so there's very few scenes that were ever shot outside of the actual precinct where the show took place. And it's just really great. I think it's this and MASH and a few other shows are just like they're sort of just on their own level in terms of the quality and historicity of the show. Sorry, Al, I lost you. I think you're on mute.
No.
There you
go. Yep. Sorry. Mama disturbed me because I got my keychains in today.
Ooh. Jazzy, I'm gonna have to pick one of those up. That's nice.
Right. So you have another talking about old school and classics, right? Dick Van Dyke. Oh man.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the first runaway sitcom hits in TV history. I mean,
it was.
Again, talk about like legendary. Obviously, Dick Van Dyke, one of the greatest comedic actors of television history.
Generation, yeah.
You had Mary Tyler Moore, who I had a crush on from the time I was old enough to know how to turn on the TV. I mean, it's just gorgeous. And talk about comic timing. She's unbeatable. Rob Reiner. Maury Amsterdam. I mean, the list just goes on and on. There's so much talent on that show. And they gave sort of first opportunities to a bunch of people that would also go on to become comic legends. But just phenomenal show. And that ran 5 seasons, got 9 Emmy nominations, and won 4.
Ooh, much better odds than what happened to Barney. Jeez.
Yeah, totally. Totally. But I highly recommend checking that out. It's an exceptionally funny show.
See, and talking about big winners, though. Oh my gosh, the next one is like huge. Jeez. Yeah. So we spoke a bit on this, and now we got to see a cool trailer of Sherlock. Check this out, folks. It's your favorite, character, one of your favorite characters in Marvel. Before he did that. So check this out. It's pretty cool.
Who are you? What do you do?
What do you think?
I'd say private detective.
When the police are out of their depth, they consult me.
I'm breaking every rule letting you in here.
Yes, because you need me.
This is my friend, John Watson.
Friend? Colleague.
Boys! You've got another one!
The game, Mrs. Hudson, is on.
Stop the clock.
I want to know why.
An attack is coming. The most dangerous criminal mind the world has ever seen.
It cannot be true, Holmes. It cannot.
The stage is set. The curtain rises.
There'll be more of them. They'll be keeping an eye on the building.
Tell them your darkest secret. The roads we walk have demons beneath.
The name's Sherlock Holmes and the address is 221B Baker Street.
I love you. That come at me. This is where I live.
Totally. Yep.
Kick ass.
It's so good. And you talked about the accolades that this series has received for. So you can only watch Sherlock on Crackle right now. We have the exclusive rights, but again, as you pointed out, it's free. So you can watch all 4 seasons plus the special Christmas episode, and you can binge that entire thing for free.
Folks.
Not a penny
you
to
hear
watch
that?
all of those. And this series had 39 Emmy nominations.
Jeez.
With only 4 seasons. How crazy is that?
Yeah, and look at that big cliff over here. It's like, I never watched Sherlock Holmes, but does that look good? Do yourself a favor. Download the Crackle app right now. That's also free. Or, tune into your smart TV and get the app there and start streaming, kiddo. And prior, he was talking about how he loved the DVD show and watched countless episodes because he likes a lot of classics, buddy.
Yeah.
I see what you did there, Cliff.
You like that? It's a... It's a spectacular series, and obviously Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman are 2 of the greatest actors working in the industry today. And together, their chemistry is just insane on this show. Cumberbatch is like he's all OCD, and Martin Freeman is so dry. Like, yes, I love it. I watched it last night. The Hounds of the Baskerville episode, and my gosh, it's just I've seen them all, and every time I watch them I catch new things. So
awesome.
Yeah.
So as you stream them, it's in order, correct?
Yes.
As it came. Oh, nice. So don't miss a beat, folks. Don't miss a beat.
Nope. Absolutely.
Excellent. So then I see you also have a couple of spotlight titles also this month. It's starting with what is part of that background right here. Well, you know who that is up there. Right, American Outlaws. What's this about?
Yeah, so we've got American Outlaws, which was kind of a hidden gem. It's a kind of a Civil War movie. It takes place just after the Civil War and is loaded with stars. Colin Farrell, Ali Larter, Kathy Bates, Terry O'Quinn, who's one of my absolute favorites from 24, and Timothy Dalton, maybe the most underrated Bond of all time.
I agree. Yo, bro, high five. Yo, absolutely, kiddo.
I'm talking
absolutely.
About.
Yeah.
Timothy Dalton, he's a good guy, and he's phenomenal in this film. But yeah, if you like Westerns, this one is really, really good. And I think just given the cast and the quality of this film, I think it's really an overlooked gem. But yeah, check that one out for sure.
Nice. And Cliff was referring to the Dick Van Dyke DVD. That's DVD. DVDs before DVDs, actual ones. And definitely he said he read the Hound of the Baskerville novel less than a half a year ago. So he's already addicted. So you better watch the show like right now, kiddo. All right.
Absolutely.
Then you got my father's favorite car. Just showed it out here. Crown Vic. What's this?
I was telling my kids, my grandparents had a Crown Vic.
Oh, yeah, my father had like 3 of them, son, and he still talks about, hey, if I could get a Crown Vic now.
It's no joke. At one point, I think Crown Vics were the fastest mass market passenger vehicle sold. They were just like they just had these beasts of engines, and so Crown Vic is a phenomenal cop thriller.
Okay.
And this one completely flew under the radar. And this was we got this as a Crackle exclusive right when I first started working for the company, and I watched it, and I gotta be honest, I was blown away at the quality of this film. And I'm like, how did I never hear about this? It stars Thomas Jane and Luke Kleintock.
My favorite Punisher, by the way.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And if you like Training Day with Denzel Washington and Ethan Hawke, there's a very similar storyline. So it's about a rookie police officer on his first night on patrol, and it's just sort of it's almost like Into the Heart of Darkness or Apocalypse Now, where you're just following this like fresh-faced kid as he heads off into the seedy underbelly of the just what police officers have to deal with on a nightly basis. But there is a twist in this film, Al. Ooh. And again, I am not going to spoil it because I am not that guy.
Like, you need that shirt. I am not that guy.
Right? Oh man, I had somebody blow something for me on social the other day where I mentioned a movie a TV series, and he was like, what about that ending and he just spilled the ending, and I'm like, series. Yeah, it's crazy. So anyway, I am not that guy, but there is a gnarly twist in Crown Vic, but really, really good writing, really dark. But like I said, if you like gritty cop dramas, this is definitely one you do not want to miss.
There you go. And I think Cliff agrees with you because he said he saw the film and it's a real good film with massive exclamation points to put his point across.
Cliff knows. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, is this the Cliff from Cheers? He knows everything.
That's it.
Awesome. Cliff, thanks for tuning in, brother. And then you have another one. And I just love all the poster looks. Scientists have avoided the UFO question until now. In this show, a tear in the sky. What is this? Because again, another show I have not heard of. What's this?
This is this one's super crazy. So this is a documentary about a group of researchers that were researching the military's Tic Tac video footage, from a couple of years ago. They supposedly got, actual footage of a UFO that looked like a Tic Tac. And they were doing all this analysis around the video, and they discovered something that is so much crazier than just a UFO on video that your head is going.
I need to watch this like immediately.
I know.
I need to watch this.
As if that's not enough, it's narrated by William Shatner.
What?
So I know.
Captain Kirk himself.
That's what I said. I said the irony is whoever's in that UFO was probably birthed because of Captain Kirk. I mean, the guy slept with like half the universe, so chances are good that that's one of his kids out there in that UFO. So yeah.
So if we get human like aliens coming in, William Shatner is the daddy.
That's it. You can thank Captain Kirk for that one.
He literally spread his seed throughout the universe. Dirty boy.
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
And we've worked with Mr. Shatner before, and I have to tell you, everybody that works with this guy is like, I would do anything to work with him again. Everybody has nothing but the greatest things to say about him. They said he is the nicest guy in Hollywood after Casper Van Dien, but he is also the hardest working guy. They said he was the first person on set and the last person to leave every single day. And yeah, he's good stuff. But this is phenomenal. You must check it out because it is super intriguing.
I could definitely agree with that about Shatner, because I had the pleasure of seeing him at Rhode Island Comic Con a couple years ago. We have an interview, that he did a panel and we, recorded it. Man, phenomenal. He was great, fun, engaging. Yep. Good people, man, for real. So I know you got a couple other things going on. I don't want to take too much more of your time, but there's a couple of things struck out at me because I'm a big fan of our big lizard and Godzilla's. What is this? What are we talking about? What are you guys doing with this?
Man, so our programming team, as usual, has knocked it out of the park, and they went and they got licensing rights to just a basket full of Godzilla, of the classic Godzilla movies. So, I mean, you can take a look at the list on Crackle, just type in Godzilla into the search, and your dance card will be filled for days. So we've got the original 1954 Godzilla, which I got to tell you, I went back and watched again. It is incredibly good. It reminded me in some ways of Jaws. You know how when you watch Jaws and you're terrified and you haven't even seen the shark yet and you're so scared and you don't know why. And Godzilla is the same way. You watch this and he doesn't show up until like 35 minutes into the movie. It's terrifying. Like there's just this ominous, dark presence. And I think a lot of it really has to do with the fact that this movie was made so soon after the bomb was dropped on Hiroshima. That the director and writer, they actually wanted to make this movie kind of a statement, kind of a warning piece about the dangers of nuclear power. And I think that's part of the reason. And I was looking up some research on this as I was getting ready for this interview. And what's fascinating is that the opening scene, there is a nuclear explosion, and it was so realistic feeling that people actually ran screaming from the theaters in Japan, just because that incident was less than 10 years before. And it was still fresh in people's minds, and they were still kind of processing the trauma of that. And all of a sudden they're watching it on the screen. It's
I don't mean to laugh at that, but I'm just thinking, like, why wasn't these people's directors' heads? It's like, you really want to like bring this memory back this soon? Damn,
yeah, too soon. Yeah, for sure.
Stop it.
Yeah, it was really great. And when you a couple other things to watch in the original film, the suit that the guy was wearing was apparently originally made out of concrete. And it was so heavy, it was 250 pounds, and it was so hot, it was 140 degrees inside the suit. And there was a heat wave going on in Tokyo while they were filming it. And the poor actor would actually pass out in the suit while they were filming these scenes because he was so hot that he would just collapse.
Like we needed to crush a building. He's there sleeping.
Totally. Or he just falls over and crushes it. They're like, no, not that one.
Not that way. We said step on it.
Yeah.
Wow. Insane.
So we have a bunch of them. We've got 56 Godzilla King of Monsters. We've got Mothra in there. We've got, just check it out. We've got a great smattering of all the classic Godzilla films.
And with the holiday weekend quickly approaching, what a better time to sit down with the family, you know, and get it cracking on Crackle with some Godzilla. And maybe that's where they got the idea of having the fire come out of his mouth, because it was so hot, and you know, he probably spit out some fire, poor guy. Insane. So you see, and just to show the diversity of content on Crackle, man, you also got a master, you know, and you know, doing with some movies in Ip Man, yo. What? Which ones are you showing us? Which ones? Elaborate a little bit.
We've got almost the entire franchise. It is I don't know if you're a fan, but I am a gigantic fan. I think it's one of the greatest martial arts franchises really in the history of film. I know that's a big thing to say, but I mean, and based on a real guy, I mean, these are historic events, and it's just every aspect of it is top shelf in terms of filmmaking. I mean, the acting, the producing, the story, the script, everything is just so good. And with a lot of these films, you know, the first ones are spectacular, and then they just sort of like, you know, before you know it, you're Fast and Furious 38. But with Hitman, I felt like they got better as they went along. I mean, it's just and it's just I cannot recommend that one enough. To me, it's you know, very close in terms of like the Bruce Lee franchise.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I really think it's one of the best 3 or 4 martial arts franchises of all time.
Yeah. The choreography, man, it's just amazing. The fight, amazing. I mean, you want to go out there, reminds me of the back on the day Kung Fu Theater. I want to start going outside. Hey guys, want to practice real quick?
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's like, you know, the first time you watch Jackie Chan and you're like, there's no way this guy did this himself. And it's the same way with Ip Man, with that like you said, the choreography. There's one fight in the marketplace where you just go, how did they even physically do this? Like, right? It's bananas.
Yeah, and you got some a classic too, Jason and the Argonauts.
Jason and the Argonauts. That is a classic. You know, Ray Harryhausen, who's sort of was the father of stop motion animation. And
King.
Did it was King Kong, actually.
Yeah, there you go.
And Jason the Argonauts is another amazing. I mean, I think it's considered probably one of the top 3 or 4 examples in his career of amazing stop motion animation. But yeah, this is one that you really got to see. It's sort of a bucket list for film fans.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, definitely want to check that one out. It's a great classic story. Jason the Argonauts and Harryhausen and team really helped to honor that story and tell it in just a beautiful, inventive way. But you know, just the stop motion, I can't say enough about. It's worth watching it just to see what they did. And when you look behind the scenes and you look at just how time intensive it is for them to get in there and manipulate all of these figures and then take these still shots and then put them together. And it's unbelievable. I mean, we're so lazy now with our computers, and we just can't imagine that kind of stuff other than like a Wes Anderson who's doing that. It's pretty crazy.
One of my fellow Crusaders is a toy reviewer, and he did a stop motion type video, and it was hundreds upon hundreds of shots for seconds of film. like he goes, I don't think I'm going to do that again. That was a lot of work, you know, but it's pretty cool. And Cliff, going back to the Ip Man, he goes, I want to fight 10, the greatest martial arts scene ever and the best martial arts film all time to him. So
okay, you know, all right. Hey, I'm not going to argue.
Yep. And you also going to be showing something that I loved very much as a kid. Because there was helicopters was hot in the 80s, right? We had Airwolf, but we also had Blue Thunder.
Yes,
bro.
I watched that on TV in like, gosh, I can't even remember when it came out, but I remember it was. I had to stay up till like 11 o'clock at night to watch this thing, and I was so tired. And then it was just, it blew me away. It was like, I think it was one of the first action films that I was like, I love this genre. Like,
yeah,
Roy Schneider's so good in it, as he's great in everything. But yeah, and I mean, I think everything with helicopters kind of took off, no pun intended, from that film. I think was one of the first great helicopter movies, and then there's TV series and everything else that came from that. But yeah, that's a classic for sure.
That started a hell of a debate amongst my Crusaders, like who would win in an air fight, Airwolf or Blue Thunder. Like, oh my God.
Oh,
Dude,
that's a horse race right there.
Yeah, you're pulling in my heart here, and I think just me. I hate to say it, but I think Airwolf got a little bit of the edge.
I think so too. I didn't want to say it.
I'll say it. You got a little edge. You got a little bit of edge. You know what I mean? So you have tons of stuff, but you also have something else here that I wasn't aware of, and I need to see it kind of immediately. It's called Cleaning Up the Town, Remembering Ghostbusters. What is this?
So this is another one that's just a gem that I'm like, and this came right when I first started at Crackle, and it's a documentary about the making of Ghostbusters.
Oh, cool.
And it's a brother and sister who created this thing, and it's been a labor of love that they've been making for years, just tweaking it and getting every bit of footage and photos that they could include in this, and interviews, so that they could make the most honoring documentary to a movie franchise that they just are super passionate about. And it is so good. There's so many interviews in there that had never been seen before, whether it's Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, of course Sigourney Weaver.
Oh, wow.
And you get to hear all these crazy stories. I didn't realize that the kernel of the movie was because Dan Aykroyd's family had a deep history in this sort of paranormal world. So he had like a great grandfather who was in the spiritualist movement back in the late 1800s. And then his brother was a real life Ghostbuster. And when they first started toying with the idea, they actually were thinking of making this into a drama. And then Bill Murray got involved, and then that all went away.
Once you have a face like that on screen, it's like, okay, no, this can't be.
Exactly. But and you get to hear about all the different casting options that almost happened. Like there were all these celebrities that were either auditioning for it or offered the parts. And it's crazy to think that, the way that the film came out, if you ask me, that's the way it had to happen. Like you couldn't replace any of those guys without ruining this film. And yet it almost didn't happen so many different times, not only with the casting, but also with the budgets and the studios. I mean, it was an uphill battle. And so you get to hear that whole crazy story. But then you also get to learn about some of the unbelievable engineering feats that they had to create basically on the fly in order to make this film. There were all kinds of, whether it was filmmaking or practical effects that just didn't exist. And they were literally on set looking at the sheet for the next day going, I don't even know how we do this. Let's just invent something. And they would just come up with this stuff literally on the spot. And you'll get to learn about all these things in the documentary, Cleaning Up the Town. It's really worth your time. And if you're a fan of the franchise like I am, you are going to probably want to watch this more than once because it's spectacular.
And again, just to clarify, it's on now, right? They could watch it right now. Oh my God!
Right now, you can tune right in.
Okay, and this is the last one I'm going to choose here because just again to show the diversity of content. You guys even got comedy. You you got Sebastian. I'm sorry, I'm about to murder his name. Maniscalco.
You got it. You're right.
Hey!
Out of the gate. Look at you, Al. That's amazing.
It is for me. That's awesome. Oh man. So you got him, Janine Garofalo, Elisa Schlesinger. I mean, dude, you got this is diverse content.
All
Action,
three of
monsters.
those are three of the best specials that Janine Garofalo special, If I May, it's called. I personally think it's one of the best stand-up specials of the last 10 years. It is spectacular.
really?
But I mean, all of them are great in their own way. Eliza is so ridiculously talented, and she's just on fire right now. She is a rocket in the comedy world. But Maniscalco, I think, if I'm not mistaken, he is the number one. He sells like more tickets than any other comic in the country at the moment.
At the moment, yes, he is. He's murdering it. You're murdering it.
But all of the, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. And we have dozens of stand-up comedy specials on Crackle, and those are three of my personal favorites. But yeah, check them out, and I think we can all use a good laugh.
Yes.
Right now, with all the crazy world going on around us, we can all use a good chuckle.
I agree, because this is the perfect weekend to do it too. For those that are not even aware of Crackle, how dare you? First of all, where you living? And right there, go to crackle.com. You could download that app on your favorite platform, whether you have a iPhone or an Android. You could download. I have the links below. Actually, it'll take you straight to the store, and you can get the app and put it on your phone, and you can thank us later. All right?
Absolutely. You can go on your connected TV and go to your app store on your TV and download it right to your TV or on your Roku device, Apple TV. We're on everything, and as you've been so great to remind us, Al, it's always free on Crackle.
Free. Exactly, free. You see, Netflix wants to do stuff with ads and charge you. Man, get out of here. For that, you go to Crackle right here. You know what I mean? And it's free, and you're getting dope material and stuff to watch. I mean, things to throw back. You got new stuff. You got classic stuff. You got funny stuff. You got action stuff. You got stuff that'll make you cry and laugh. Come on. They got it all. Because you know what? That's what's cracking at Crackle, baby. Hell yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You tell them, preach it, Al. Preach it.
Preach, man. We're going to make a Sunday service out of Crackle right now. Come on now.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Yeah. Brother, thank you so much for putting us on to what's popping this month on Crackle. I'm excited. There's a lot of stuff here that I definitely got to see. I mean, there's actually one more documentary before you go. You sounded passionate about it, and you piqued my interest. There's one of my brother's favorite movies in the Boondock Saints, and apparently you have a documentary about this too.
Yeah. So it's called Overnight, and it is so good. It is so good. So this, if you like Boondock Saints, this is the story of Troy Duffy, who wrote the script and directed the movie. And it was sort of this rags to riches, amazing story. He was this bartender who pitched the idea to a very important producer at the time, who's been in the news quite a bit lately. And
okay. Okay.
And they decided they were going to make this movie, and took off. And as so often happens, things just kind of spun out of control very quickly. And you watch this meteoric rise of this young writer on a rocket ship to celebrity, and all of a sudden that rocket just turns and starts heading back to Earth at a terrifying rate. And I mean, it is one of the most interesting entertainment documentaries ever. And you watch it's like a busload of nuns going off a cliff in slow motion. And you're just like, what am I watching? You can't believe it's actually real. And man, is it good. So highly recommend that one.
You're killing me. I gotta watch this. I gotta watch this tonight. There's something that's right up my alley, especially when it's stories like that. Let's learn the mistakes. That way we don't commit them. Oh man, this is awesome. Chris, once again, thank you for your time, folks. Once again, crackle.com, or go visit, your phone, whatever phone you got, and go to that app store, get it done. Or on your TV, get it done, whatever you got. It's available everywhere. Crackle is everywhere, all right? And of course, if you want to hang out and see what Chris is up to, you can follow him on Twitter right there, IDG Jesus.
There you go.
it's like I'm pronouncing IDG Jesus.
Yeah, that's it. I dig Jesus.
Wepa, there you go. Kiddo, again, thank you for your time. And mi gente, thank you everybody for tuning in. Big shout out to Cliff for being so active and engaging in a conversation. Appreciate it. And we'll be catching up with Chris real soon to see what else is gonna be cracking and what's popping in other places as well. All right.
Absolutely. We'll be back.
Yeah. Well, look at that. He's doing his best Arnold right there. I'll be back. All right. Later. Later, my guys. Much love. Hasta la próxima. Wepa. Later.